So first of all, I want to say thank you guys to everyone. We are now at 100 subs, and my brother-in-law told me I needed to do a video kind of celebrating the fact that I have 100 subs, but I don't know what to do. It's not like I'm one of those crazy YouTubers who do pranks or whatever and go, what prank do you want to do next? And that's not my thing. If you ever want a story that you want me to cover or something like that, then go ahead and send it my way, and I'll definitely do it for you guys. I appreciate that. But I kind of wanted today, even though it's my 100th sub video, I'm going to go into a different take on the shooting that happened in Minneapolis. I think even a lot of the conservative media is missing the actual point here and missing a perspective that I think is very, very important and very, very good to cover. And I watched a lot of them to make sure that I'm not just crazy when I say that they are taking a different view of it. And I do want to get into that because I think it's useful to have full knowledge on this and a perspective that is based off of common view and common people, not just off of these highfalutin, conservative media out there, but really when the rubber meets the road, what people are seeing, what they are knowing, and what needs to be said to them to understand what we're dealing with. All right. So welcome to the Ripple Effect. Well, to get into it first, I do want to say that I kind of wanted to give you a quick, since it is my 100th sub video, I wanted to say why I started this channel. I had a channel based off of the Bible and basically teaching Bible in church to more complicated topics and that kind of thing to help people out. And the intent was to be as useful as possible. But the problem is, and this is going to sound crazy, churches have become more divisive. And not just churches, but the people in the churches many times are divisive on what they believe and how they believe it. And so if you have opinions differing than them, then they can get very, very upset and it can become very problematic. So I went for a safer topic and I went for politics. But part of that is I had kind of not done anything with it for a long time. And then when Charlie Kirk was shot, it reminded me that there's not enough voices out there that and I know this it irritates some people and I'm sorry that it does. I really am. But the truth is that I don't think there's enough voices out there that are not Catholic when it comes to the conservative movement. And unfortunately, I don't agree with Catholicism in a lot of ways, a lot of things, and about salvation. And I think there's a lot of people that are well-intentioned, really trying to do their best, but unfortunately they're leading a lot of people astray because of that. And so I wanted to get a voice out there because we had lost Charlie Kirk. I wanted in his honor, and just because I think it was the right thing to do at the time and God spurred me forward to do it, to have a channel that was a simple channel, a channel that is put out by simple people, me, and try to reach one person. And that's my goal every day. And I try, and I'm not very successful, unfortunately, in real life. It's hard, and I'm not saying that it is easy, but if we continually to try, there are some people that I work on, and it is a joy to see the steps and movement in the right direction. And this is both for church and for politics. And I think that if we all do that, we can affect so much more. If we're not crazy and we're not nuts and we're doing some good things, we can do so much. My goal, I want to tell you, since we reached 100 subscribers and I owe you kind of an explanation of what the goal is. My goal is to get to however many subs I can get. My next goal is 1,000 subs. I'd like to get to 1,000. Let's get to 1,000, okay? And it's not even the monetization thing. I'm trying to get a big channel. And if I can get to 10,000 subs, my next goal would be, after getting to 10,000 subs and getting a regular watching audience, I would like to start more channels. Not me, but help find people out there and reach people out there, encourage people out there to start channels. Because I think what's happening is we're seeing a new medium coming in right now of channels that are popping up that are smaller channels, newer channels. And it's very effective because each person has a different perspective, and it's so vitally important to have different perspectives than the same old perspectives that we've been hearing for a long time, because it's not reaching the young people. It's not reaching a lot of the old people and the middle people. They're like the middle-aged people. They're not interested in that kind of stuff anymore. And it's not even that we're trying to chase trends. It's just there are good perspectives out there that need to be heard. And if I can get more good people in front of microphones to help reach more people, that's my goal. And so if I can reach enough people with my microphone that we can start starting other channels and start the ripple effect, that's the whole reason why I named it that. That is my goal. I want to see other people succeed. Even if they succeed more than me, that's 100% okay with me. but if we can get them started, if we can get them helped, if we can get them moving, and I know we only have 100 right now, but if we can get to 1,000 subscribers and then 10,000 subscribers and so on, we can then reach out and build other people up so that we can have a group of people working to bring people to Christ, to bring people to the understanding of God's word, and to bring people around to the idea of political conservatism. And I'm not just using that word lightly. We conserve the faith and the beliefs that we have in the Bible in our politics and how it affects what we believe and live by every day. So with that topic in mind, I wrote some of these things down because it is going to be a very kind of complicated video today, but we are constantly in a war, and we have to understand that we are in a war. That's why I'm doing this, because there's people out there that are fighting us, and they just refuse to see the truth. And the problem is because it's actually not just political, it's spiritual. And the spiritual warfare that's going on is blinding people's eyes to the truth, whether it's because of power, money, or just the beliefs that they hold on to. So many people I know, and you witness to them and you try to reach to them, right? They don't want to see it because it requires change. In the same way with politics, people don't want to see it because it will require change from them. So on that note, we're going to go into the shooting. I wanted to get into the shooting, and I wrote down some notes so that I wouldn't lose track of what we're dealing with. And when you're going into this, you have to understand that people are, and I have some people at work who have different views than me politically, and they just refuse to see the truth, and it's so hard. And we're going to deal with that, which is why it's so important for us to be knowledgeable and to be growing. And we constantly have to learn. I set some goals after Charlie Kirk died, and I've been trying to do them. I've been trying to do things like I have my phone, right? And I've been trying to on purposely, and I know his book is coming out, or he just came out about this, but to put it down. Just take your phone, put it down. Because you'll find that you have so much more time to do other things if you do that. Well, to get into the shooting. So a lot of the conservatives are immediately defending the ICE agent and saying that he had every right to shoot him and that there's all these legal reasons and all kind of stuff. And albeit I will give them that, I think there's one key thing here. And everyone is coming out and saying it. And I want to argue with even the Trump and the Gnomes and all those people out there that are talking about this. I don't think that she wanted to hit him. I don't think she wanted to. I was watching it. And I drive enough, you know, maybe I'm not a Ben Shapiro or a Glenn Beck and them, you know, where they have drivers and all that kind of stuff nowadays. I still drive by myself, and I know how it backing up and going forward looks like. And so I think it's very important for us to speak the truth about these things so that we can, with knowledge, we're not getting blindsided by falsehoods when we say them, okay? I think she was trying to get away. I think that she was trying to get away. Unfortunately for her, she got shot because she started going towards a police officer or an ICE agent. But I don't think she did. I don't think she intended it. But what she needed to understand, and this is the problem with people, when we are so excitable in bad ways, you don't think through the consequences of what's going on. And I forget who said it. I think it was Joe Rogan, who said, the problem with society is that not enough people are getting punched in the face. And that sounds so horrible and so mean. But if we had more people getting punched in the face for saying stupid things, and I'm sorry, I'm not inciting for violence, but you wouldn't have this. Because people understand immediate consequences for their actions. People are so used to screaming horrible things online and saying all kinds of nonsense and horrible things that they just don't care. And then because of that, they continue to ratchet up higher and higher and higher. And so she didn't even realize that she is in a deadly weapon. I tell my wife this when she's driving around. I say, if someone's coming at you weird, you use the vehicle. It is a weapon. To defend yourself, you will use it. And so she's driving around a deadly weapon. He shoots her. My concern with this, and this is a thought that hit me, and I don't know if you guys are with me on this one, but follow me on this. My concern is, I know that the politicians and everyone's coming out and defending him right now, and yeah, whatever. But my concern is how long until these things become so political that if the next president's AOC or Gavin Newsom, will he be prosecuted? Will they now come after him with the DOJ and prosecute him? Is that what's going to happen? I mean, it's possible. That's a thought that hit me. I'm saying we're defending our police officers. We're defending our ICE agents. And we say, okay, this is important what they're doing. And this is great. But I'm kind of concerned that if we allow the left to take back over, that I always get notifications. If we allow the left to take over again, we might lose. freedom. Like, people might actually go to jail for doing their job because now people that are in office that are like, they'll take over the DOJ and then go after these individuals. Now, the scenario, here's the thing. The scenario was created hazardous by the woman. And people are pointing this out, but I'm not even thinking of just the situation that they're in right now. Here's my problem. We have to look at the fact that ICE agents have been doxxed and all that kind of stuff, and that's what they're mentioning. But they've had rocks thrown at them. And if take the shoe and put it on the other foot, if I threw a rock at your vehicle, I'd be charged with all kinds of crazy things, including potentially attempted murder, depending on how fast you're going and depending on where the area is at. And yet these guys are attempting murder of ICE agents all the time, and it's encouraged, it's pushed forward, and it's supported by the left. And so here's this ratcheting of everything higher and higher and higher, ratcheting it even more intense. And then she blocks the road. Okay, so you're coming down, and I know, because I've read enough stories on these kind of things, and I know enough military people, if you're in a convoy and you're heading somewhere and someone stops you, what is your threat level? Is your threat level down here in the basement? No, someone stops you in your movements, someone blocks you in, your threat level is through the roof. You're through the roof. Because they're basically, in a sense, holding you hostage. And she's holding these ICE agents hostage. Okay? So when the ICE agents come out after her, she has to understand what exactly is happening. And then add in this flash mob mentality. And it's not even just an organic flash mob. These flash mobs are orchestrated. I watched an interview or a correspondence reporter that's down at the scene right now in Minnesota, showing that there's organizers moving people around, making sure everyone looks, full enough, and that if every shot looks like there's people everywhere, and it's all political nonsense. Get out of here. Enough. Stop playing politics. Stop it. You're getting people killed, you stupid idiots. Stop it. All because you want your political candidate to win. And this is something we've got to understand. These people do not care. They don't see the truth, and they won't play fair. They won't. And unfortunately, I feel so bad for this lady who died because these idiots out there encourage this kind of nonsense, push this kind of nonsense, and now she's dead because she was told for so long that you can play around, mess around right, and not find out. That there'll never be consequences for your stupid actions. It's like a child that's never been trained, or like a puppy that's never told it can't, don't run out into the road, guys. It's sad. It's so sad. And then leftist rhetoric that just increases and ratchets everything up. And all these ICE agents know that when they go out there, that their lives, literal lives, are in threat and in danger because you lefty idiots want to cause this problem. Because you want to ratchet the rhetoric up. No matter how much you disagree with what they're doing, which I don't even understand that one anyways, they're arresting people who are illegal, in our country illegally, kicking them out. Any country in the world would do this. Why can't we? Why are we the one country that can't? So here they are doing their job, and you have to stop them because it's your voting block. I'm not even going to say allegedly. It's your voting block. When you're doing everything you can to let illegal aliens vote. And how do you pay them back? You give them free stuff. You give them health care. You give them all these things so that they will vote for you. Tearing down the whole system. You don't care if it lasts. We're like Rome, feeding off the Praetorian Guard, or whatever they're called. Praetorian Guard. And the people. Until it crumbles. But that crumbling costs lives. And you're making a gamble, lefties. You're making a gamble that it'll happen after you die. That you can enjoy your life and your money and your wealth and your power and your control and everything like that, but you won't see it. You won't be affected by it. But every one of these people that you lead into that will be affected by it. The lefties made this a life-threatening situation. And then want to whine to us about when a person dies because they've created the life-threatening situation. That's what it is. I honestly don't think she was trying to hit him. I don't think she even saw him, to be honest, until too late. You can tell from the thing that's going on as she's driving. There's all these people, trying to get into her door. She's scared. I could imagine she's scared at that moment because now she realizes that she's messed around and is going to find out, right? This whole thing's going on and she takes off, not realizing what's around her. I can imagine it in my mind. And in my mind, the lefties and the stupid socialist communist morons on their side killed that woman. They killed that woman. Stop trying to defend the ICE agent, guys. Put the blame where it belongs, on the left. They're the ones that did this. Even the whole stop. They came out and it looked like they were trying to pull her out of her car. What would you pull someone out of their car for? Because you're detaining them. Meaning that here's police going after her for the crime that she's doing, which is inhibiting them, preventing them from doing their job, right? There's the legal expression for that. I don't remember off the top of my head right now. And then they're obviously seeming to wanting to detain her, to arrest her, and she's resisting arrest in that sense. You want more civilian deaths, people? Continue to ratchet up the rhetoric. You want more civilian deaths? Continue to block wickedness on their parts and fraud and crime and everything else. You'll see more civilian deaths. And honestly, I am so over it, and I think this is why this channel has some kind of effect. It's because people are tired of seeing the left calling good bad and bad good. They tell you that you're bad for having your beliefs and everything that you believe, but that they're good for stealing money, for the Somalis stealing money. But they're contributing so much. When was the last time a bad person was thrown in jail from the left, and the lefties said, yep, he deserved it, he was bad? Never, never, ever, ever. Always, it's some kind of reason. Well, it's some poor abuela that's being thrown in jail by ICE. That's what's going on. But they contribute so much, those Somalis. And then when they're confronted by the facts, as I was listening to this morning, of how much money the Somalis are taking on the take, even after 10 years of being in the country, compared to the normal Minnesotans, the question's like, well, what do you mean by normal Minnesotans? What do you mean by normal Minnesotans? I mean, they're now part of us. And it's like, yes, I understand that. But maybe we should change the whole point of becoming a citizen when you're born here, guys, was never for just massive amounts of immigration, for people just to throw themselves on our shores. Oh, of course, people are calling me. To throw themselves on our shores so that they can birth their child here and they become a citizen. No, that's not what was it ever intended. The whole point is they're supposed to be subject to our laws of our land. It's actually expressed in that. They're supposed to be subject to our laws. These people are not subject to our laws and should leave. They should lose their citizenship and leave. And it needs to happen now. Get rid of them. You come to just take and destroy our country, get rid of them. I don't care if they're, quote, legally here or not. No, you don't. You are an enemy of the country. Sorry. I'm not wanting to hurt you or anything. We'll just send you back where you came from. If you come here to take, and you want nothing to do with building up this country, get out. And there's lots of people like me that are so frustrated with people just not wanting to see the truth. And the problem is that we don't really know well how to get this message out. And as we learn together, hopefully on this channel, maybe we can make an effect. And each one of us needs to reach one person. That's the goal. That's the plan. Thank you guys so much for the subscriptions. I appreciate it. 100's a huge, huge goal for me. And I didn't know if I was going to make it or not, honestly, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know this has been a longer video. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching The Ripple Effect. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get to 10,000. Let's go. Let's get to 1,000 first, but let's get there so we can do more. Thank you so much.